All right, we're pushing limits now. Plugged in my window air conditioner. Let's see what she does with it. Hey guys, for this video, we're going to check out this EBL portable power station. They were nice enough to send me this item for free so I can make a video showing it to you. We're going to go through all the features and then give it a little test. This is up to 1,000 watts, which is pretty amazing. I've had a bunch of these things, and some of them are as low as 100 watts. So 1,000 watts, definitely the largest wattage capacity that I've had of any of these portable power stations. So we have the power button right here. You can see right now it is at 28% from the LCD screen. We do have a light. And then we have individual buttons for turning on our different outputs. We have our DC to the left. You see when you turn it on, if we had something DC plugged in, it would give you the wattage of the DC section. It does have the cigarette outlet plug and a couple of barrel connectors there. In the middle, we have USB ports. They are three 3.0 ports, which is another nice upgrade. I have one where you have one that's a 2 and one that's a 1, and those are just slower. So these are three of the good ones. You also get the USB-C power delivery, 60 watts. We can turn that one on, and you see we have a separate item for the USB output wattage. So if we turn DC on and USB, we could see independently how much each one is pulling on us. And then we have the AC outlets all the way to the right, and that's up to your 1,000 watts there. It's also pure sine wave, which is really nice. It's not modified sine wave. I noticed in the instructions it says not to use the AC ports while charging, but you can use these other ports over here while charging, so keep that in mind. And then we have our inputs in the top right corner. So you got a barrel connection DC port, and we also have a PV 8 amp max, so that's for solar panels, but you can also obviously use this one for solar panels as well. Now in the packaging, you do get a charger for plugging into a wall. Here's the other cable for it, and that just plugs in there if you're going to be using an AC outlet to charge it. The output on this is 150 watts, which is the maximum for this power station. So if you had a solar panel, you could use anything. If you have a 5-watt solar panel, plug it in. It'll take forever to charge, but it will do it eventually. But it holds up to 150 watts. So the instructions say 100 or 200 watt solar panel. The 200 watt would be ideal because generally solar panels aren't putting out 100% of what they're capable of. So your 200 watt panel most of the time is probably putting out somewhere between 100 and 150 watts. So it would be just fine in this, and that would be the most ideal for this guy. The other connections you get is another DC with a cigarette lighter style socket on the other side. And then you get this cable also that plugs in, and it's got these guys on the end, which I know can go to solar panels, but other than that, I don't know much about these kind of connectors. And the same thing with this one over here. If you have a solar panel that has some kind of a connection that looks like that, then that's what it's for. It's definitely solar panel, but I don't have that connection. I want to show you a couple of highlights from the user manual that are important numbers for you. So our battery capacity is 999 watt hours, which is a huge set of batteries in there. Our charging input that we just talked about is 150 watts. Our output is up to 1,000 watts in pure sine wave. It also has a wireless charger on the top if you have a device capable of that, and that is 10 watts at the wireless charger. Using the AC adapter, it'll take 7 to 8 hours to fully charge. Alright, I think that covers all the bases. As you saw, the battery's at 28% currently, so I have a solar panel I'm going to use on this guy. We're going to hook it up and get this thing all the way up to 100%. Got the power station all plugged in. My 100-watt solar panel. Fairly sunny day with clear skies. And we can see, still at 28%, just plugged it in. We have an input of 63 to 64 watts. So it's going to take a second, but we'll leave it out in the sun for a while and see how she does. We made it to 100% charge. Time to test it out, see what we can run. We hit the USB button to turn the USB ports on. First, I just want to show you the most basic task that you can do with any power station. I have a USB port plugged in with a micro USB on the end. I'm just going to charge this rechargeable work light. It's the exact same thing as a cell phone. You see, as soon as we plug it in, charge light's on. The screen is telling us we are using 3 watts of power. USB on, 3 watts. So the most basic use for this thing, charging a cell phone or a tablet, something that uses USB ports, very easy for this to do. Now, you're not going to buy a 1,000 watt power station just so you can charge a light or a cell phone. Yes, you can do that, but when you're buying a big boy like this, you have higher ambitions than that. So let's test some other things. We're going to step things up just a smidge here. We turned on the AC port. You can see AC on at 0 watts. And I have a little LED work light up here. You see AC outlet, 6 watts. We got to go harder than that. All right, we're pushing limits now. Plugged in my window air conditioner. I know it would be beneficial to know how many BTUs it is, and I don't know. But I use it in my 26 by 26 garage. Let's see what she does with it. We're going to wait for the compressor to actually kick on, see what this number goes to, and if it can hold it. We're up to 750. $780. And she's doing it. Now obviously we're going to suck battery life pretty good pulling that amount. But I will tell you, this is my only power supply that's actually been able to do this. It also means you'll probably be able to run some space heaters, maybe on low or medium, but if you look at the wattage rating of your space heater, you got a good chance of being able to run it for a little while, at least in an emergency if you're out of power or something. I can't tell you guys how impressed I am that this thing was able to run that air conditioner. That's amazing. But let's try this. Here I have a Frigidaire mini fridge. It's got the fridge and the freezer portion, and I thought, let's see what it does with this. Okay, you see initially we're in the 70-ish watt area. We need to make sure the compressor kicks on this guy. We'll just open up the freezer. Alright, this thing's been running for 10 minutes and it only gets to 80 watts, so it's far more energy efficient than I thought a mini fridge would be. So there we go. Still 75 watts, and that's what it stays at most of the time. Who knew? There it is, guys. The only power station I've ever owned that'll run this air conditioner, and I'm thankful for it. I'm going to stand in front of the AC and work on my next project. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.